actually by accident. I was a volunteer at ProtoSpace, and you always see that there are 4 or 5 people queuing in front of the laser cutter. And that's not a bad thing, because they're waiting for their turn, but it often takes a long time. And they talk to each other and learn each other. And then they thought, couldn't we have extra capacity by adding a few small laser cutters? So I started looking for Chinese laser cutters. They cost about €2,000. And I bought one, and they were very, very dangerous. We did 2 things. We made an open source project called Laos, laser open source, to yank out the electronics from China and put their own in. And that is still running, and it works. And then I got really interested in small laser cutters, and I bought a few, and now I have this one. At the same time, I had built a NLmaker, and before that a RabRab. And one day someone came in, he said, you got a miniFabLab. I said, that's true, it's a miniFabLab. And then I thought, well, why not name it a miniFabLab? And so this was a place where people could come and do little jobs. I think it is at the moment far exaggerated for what's happening now. But in the future it will be immense. Yeah. So we have in the world 400 FabLabs. You call it a drop on a hot plate. It does not really have an effect. But there is growing awareness that we should again make things with our hands. Pioneers and catalysts. Okay. So a pioneer that we start doing things in a very crude way, but we get people on the learning curve of making things themselves. And learning them to think in products and things they want to have for themselves, and not in mass production ideas. No, I don't think so. In fact, let's put it out. If you want to cut something with a laser cutter, you need to be able to draw it in 2D. If you want to print something on a 3D printer, you need to be able to draw in 3D. Or you can pinch it continuously, but basically you have to master the skills of making your own object, drawing it. It's not taught at schools. That's what at the moment is happening in Kaasfabriek in Alkmaar. You've been there?
Yeah.
So Kaasfabriek was set up in 2 years' time out of nothing by a group of 10 people who were very, very enthusiastic. They had very little money and they made it in containers. Now they are having to say, okay, we have the FabLab, but the lab manager says, well, I run a little business because I can make money by using the facilities. That's quite good. Yeah. Okay. That's totally not in conflict with the idea of the FabLab. Yeah. That's what is happening if you give courses, because they have a social impact, because they educate people. Tilburg is a good example of it, yeah. Because Piet he's really a businessman, and he has a two-pronged approach to things, the FabLab and the other one. The real future is that FabLabs will disappear. There will be big FabLabs, and they will grow smaller and smaller and smaller, and in the end you are not aware you have a FabLab in your house, in your home, because it's just a machine. Yeah. The same would happen with computers, or with electricity, or even before that with electromotors. It will take time. Will every house have a 3D printer? No, first you will have one for fun, like a gadget. Then, if you need something special, that machine is too crude, so you go to service center who can print your thing. And later on, you'll do it at home. But it's all a matter of scale. Could be an exponential growth of number of FabLabs. 7 years ago, there was no FabLabs in the Netherlands. Then we made one in Amsterdam. We have now 38, and we have 10 initiatives in the Benelux. So it's a curve like this. All these labs, the motor behind almost all these labs are individuals, tenacious individuals that want to have a lab. They have a passion to do it, and they do it. And they don't bother about business plans. They want a fab lab. Digital fabrication will happen in lots and lots of other places than fab labs. In industry, the same thing is happening as well. On the 3D printing, where are the big names? Where is Canon? Where is HP? HP once a year has an announcement and then it's quiet. But those are the companies that can make these machines affordable for everybody. Yeah. No, I think it will go slow, very slow. There's no general rule. In fact, in my opinion, they can both go together. I prefer sharing things, because the more people use my things, the better I feel. But on the other hand, if I want to make my business, I put a lot of effort in making something, and I want to sell it. It's my product, and I don't want others to make money with it. So it's a matter of money and satisfaction. 4 years ago, you had MakerBot and you had NLmaker, and they both were open source. Then MakerBot got a lot of money, and they started alienating themselves from their open source consumer base. And it ran along for 2 years. Now the MakerBot machine is just a machine like any other consumer machine, and there's no real community anymore. NLmaker still has open source, and they live up to it. Everything from this machine you can get down from the web, and you can download it and make yourself. The magazine Make, maybe you've seen it, and the NLmaker was considered to be the preferred machine over the MakerBot. Yeah. But one reason of that is maybe not even the quality of the machine, but it's the being part of your consumer base, your community. Yeah. Sharing does not mean giving away. NLmaker gives their total design away, and everyone may copy the NLmaker, and they also use the follow-up from their user base to make the machine better.